In April 2003, 10 months after Kelly's indictment, Mary scooped Abden and me when she interviewed 3 of the singer's in-laws for a disturbing story about how he treated his wife, Andrea. R. Kelly married 22-year-old Andrea Lee, a dancer in his touring troupe, in 1996. By age 29, she'd given birth to 3 of his children, Jaya, born in 1996, Joanne, born in 1998, and Robert Jr., born in 2002. But sources in his crew told me she was almost a non-entity in his life. They called her Puppy Dog rather than her preferred nickname, Drea. They said, and she later confirmed in many print and television interviews, that she had to knock before entering any room in the house on George Street or the mansion in Olympia Fields. Photographers almost never captured the couple together in public, and many of R. Kelly fans didn't know he was married until the widespread publicity after his indictment. His wife was still excusing Rob and his friends, the singer's confidant Kim Duaney said in 2004. His wife was a Stepford. The Stepford wives portrayed the robotic women of a Connecticut suburb who submitted totally to their controlling husbands. I think she knows, Rob. I can say that. I think she knows. When Mary Mitchell talked to Andrea's mother, grandfather, and aunt, they said R. Kelly didn't allow them to visit her at home, and he didn't permit Andrea to speak to them on the phone. In 2003, they still hadn't met their 16-month-old grandson, Robert Jr. The last time I talked to her was over 2 years ago on the phone, said Gerri Cruz, Andrea's mother. She was crying hysterically and violently. Of course, you are worried when you go from talking to a person every day to not talking to them, period. Gerri Cruz had recently asked the Olympia Fields Police Department to perform a well-being check on her daughter, and they reported Andrea was fine. I don't know if my child is under the influence. I don't know if she's being controlled. I don't know if people are watching her. I don't know if she's being brainwashed, Gerri Cruz told Mary. If everything is all right, then she should call her mother and father. I find this behavior bizarre. In September 2005, 39 months after R. Kelly's indictment, Andrea petitioned Cook County Court for an order of protection from her husband of 9 years. She charged that he repeatedly slapped and hit her when she asked for a divorce. I'm now fearful of him and I want to get away safe and be happy, she wrote in large looping handwriting. No, I never called the police. I thought it would get better, in even larger scrawl. Andrea requested no contact by any means for herself and supervised visits only for her children. Several weeks later, after the couple reportedly reconciled, she rescinded the request for a protection order. Robert needed her to play a role during the trial, or at least make it be like he had a happy family at home. One of R. Kelly's former associates told me Andrea did not attend the trial. One way or another, he convinced her to stay a little bit longer. Almost 5 years after Robert's indictment in May 2007, journalist Natalie Moore asked Andrea about her husband's case during a lengthy interview that ran as a cover story in Essence. Come on, who will believe all that? Andrea said of the charges. That's why they call them allegations. She grew indignant when Moore asked if she'd seen the videotape. Why would you ask that question of a woman married with children? It's ludicrous to ask me a question like that. The couple finalized their divorce a little more than a year later, weeks after the end of the trial. In 2018, Andrea began to speak to the media about the physical and mental abuse she says she suffered from Kelly during their marriage. She once contemplated hurting herself because things got so bad. Her friend Jim Pratt and manager Eric France both accompanied her to speaking engagements for a time, along with another friend who serves as her stylist. Told me Andrea could not talk to me because some things are still just too painful for her. In Dream Hampton's 2019 docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, Andrea says there are certain things here I'm not willing to talk about. Asked if she ever saw underage girls with her husband or in their home, she says he never brought any of them around me. He kept it away from me for a reason. After that series aired, a key member of the prosecution team for the 2008 trial told me one of their biggest regrets was that they could not convince Andrea to testify. Even at the end, when you could tell their marriage was breaking down, we had one last ditch efforts to get her on board, and we were told in no uncertain terms, get the F out of here. To see her now talking about what a monster he was, maybe even just having her on our side could have changed that. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below and let me know if y'all think that if Andrea would have testified against R. Kelly back then, if he could have gotten convicted versus getting acquitted. Let me know down below in the comment section. I honestly feel like maybe it would have changed something because they would have had a little bit more evidence, maybe even another eyewitness besides Rashona herself, since they couldn't get Rashona to testify, with Andrea being the wife and the godmother and also being in the house with them during the times that allegedly some of this stuff was happening. But as Robert Kelly waited for his day in court, he had plenty of other problems with both blood relatives and people he considered family. In early 2006, 3.5 years after his indictment, his younger half-brother Clary released an interview with Drama, a DVD-based magazine, claiming Robert emotionally and physically abused Andrea, had a problem with underage girls, and often showed the videotape at the heart of the indictment to his friends. He also tried to convince Clary to take the blame as the man who appeared on the tape. Clary said, even though the half-brothers don't resemble each other very much, I got a call a year and a half ago from my older brother who wanted me to do some stuff pertaining to this case that was going to leave me behind bars, Clary says in the Drama interview. I turned it down. The boy offered me $50,000, a BS record deal, and a house to lie, to perjure myself in a court of law, and I felt that stuff wasn't worth it. According to Clary, Robert had long documented his obsession with underage intercourse, and Age Ain't Nothing But a Number and other songs. He's been telling, I've got a problem because if I love this girl and she's 12, that's all that matters. He's been saying it in his songs, and that's what makes him the genius that he is, says Clary. He speaks stuff that other people who are on his level can relate to. And I say to America, the criminal justice system, if you let him off, he's going to do it again. Trust me, I bet my life on it. By his own admission, Clary has struggled. He was homeless for a time, and he resented Robert for not helping him launch a rap career. This is not the first time Clary has made ridiculous accusations against his brother. R. Kelly spokesman Alan Meyer said in response to the Drama interview, we're not going to dignify them with a comment. Robert's other half-siblings, Bruce and Teresa, worked on and off for their superstar kin. Bruce as a bodyguard and runner, and Teresa, who has never spoken about Robert publicly but was cleaning Robert's house. In the fall of 2006, more than 4 years after the indictment, I got a call from Henry Vaughn, a Chicago man who wanted to give me a scoop about the lawsuit he just filed. The son of the Southside Democrat ward boss, Vaughn worked as a security guard, and he claimed to have been mentor and uncle to Robert since R. Kelly's teens. They were not actually related, but the singer and his crew called Vaughn Uncle Henry Love. He arrived at the New Sun-Times offices in rented space at 350 North Orleans Street, wearing a crisp white shirt beneath an impeccably tailored red suit, tie, and top hat, the living embodiment of the city's stepping scene. Abdon, Mary Mitchell, and I sat with him in a small gray conference room as he told us he'd gone to a party at R. Kelly's Olympia Fields mansion months earlier on February 19th to watch the NBA All-Star game, and he'd been beaten by Kelly and his bodyguards. Uncle Henry then showed us in an Olympia Fields police report photos of a bloody lip and other injuries and paperwork from the Advocate Christ Medical Center in South Suburban Oaklawn to back up the account in his legal claim, which demanded compensation for permanent injuries from the beating, as well as money he said R. Kelly promised to pay him for sharing his stepping moves and inspiring the hit Step in the Name of Love. Myriad are the accusations against pop stars for stealing other people's ideas, and every journalist on the beat soon learns to ignore them. But the original version of R. Kelly's song does end with the line dedicated to the Uncle Henry Love, thank you. And the remix includes the shout out, Henry Love, I see you, yeah. Asked at what prompted R. Kelly to allegedly beat his friend, mentor, and dance instructor, Uncle Henry said he couldn't be certain, but the argument started when R. Kelly's young daughter, Jaya, danced to amuse his friends at the party, and Uncle Henry criticized R. Kelly for encouraging her to do it. Jaya came out as transgender in 2014 and now prefers to be called Kelly's son, Jay. She was all dressed up with tight jeans and makeup on, a 7-year-old girl dancing on top of the pool table, Uncle Henry said. It was ridiculous. She told my lady, I'm having a show next week. When you come, bring $100. Nobody would tell this, but I ain't scared to tell the truth. Shame the devil. Oh my God, y'all. I had reported this a while ago in one of my videos. I'm not sure if I heard it from another source or if I seen it in one of Tasha K's videos. But it was said that a long time ago that R. Kelly had one of his daughters in a room of men on a piano, y'all, dancing almost like a striptease in front of these men, and he was encouraging it, and everyone didn't know rather to accept it and applaud it or shame it and discuss type thing, because R. Kelly was enjoying it. And I think that they had all put it out there that it was Joanne, but it wasn't Joanne, because Joanne was the middle child. Jaya was born first, y'all. It makes sense. Yes. Because I was confused for a very long time, like, what's really going on? Because it really seemed like some shady stuff to say, but, I mean, I don't make the news, I just report it. Olympia Fields police told Abden they responded to a call from the mansion that night of the party, but declined to file charges when R. Kelly's bodyguards and others at the gathering said Uncle Henry had gotten drunk and had to be subdued. They found the singer's children upstairs in the bed asleep, y'all. And I mean, if this is all happening in Chicago and allegedly R. Kelly probably already got these people in his pocket and whatnot, these police ain't finna bother this superstar celebrity. They just finna go over there, take a couple notes, leave, and go on about their business. So R. Kelly's spokesman, which was Alan Meyer at the time, described Uncle Henry as a disgruntled former employee and a hanger-on, and called the lawsuit a pathetic collection of half-truths, distortions, and outright lies. He dismissed the story about R. Kelly's daughter dancing at the party as outrageous nonsense, but R. Kelly nevertheless settled Uncle Henry's claim out of court for an undisclosed sum. Bond never spoke about R. Kelly in public again, and R. Kelly's new spokesman had replaced Regina Daniels, who for years has stood among R. Kelly's most ardent defenders. Regina and her husband George split from the star not long before his indictment in 2002, issuing a press release saying they severed all ties with R. Kelly and cryptically adding a line has been crossed. In 2008, George Daniels talked to a Los Angeles radio station and explained what that meant. He crossed the line with my daughter. It didn't get to the extreme of that video, or else I wouldn't be here, if you know what I'm talking about. Slamming his fist on the table, he made it clear he would have gotten real even with R. Kelly. The reason that I'm talking about this is not just for me, it's not just for my wife, and it's not for my daughter, but it's for the other fathers and mothers, because it doesn't have to be a superstar. It could be the dude on the corner. There are guys who sit around and give your child a couple of bucks to go to school and then wait until they get a little older, then they set the trap. Y'all, it seems to me like R. Kelly didn't have no boundaries, because it's saying that his old spokesperson, Regina Daniels' stepdaughter and George's daughter, talked to World Entertainment News Network several weeks later, detailing the affair she had when she was with R. Kelly and when she was 20 years old. My stepmother and father didn't know about my relationship with the singer because I knew and he knew they wouldn't approve. So I tried to keep it a secret, but when my stepmother found out about our relationship, she resigned because she felt that Rob had crossed that line by dating a girl that he has known since she was 7 years old. She was Rob's publicist for 14 years and always considered Rob not just a client but family, and Rob thought of my dad like a father. Maxine Daniels said the affair with Kelly had been a serious misjudgment, but she's been swept up by his charming and generous ways. It's hard to take seriously the moral outrage expressed by George and Regina Daniels over R. Kelly's relationship with Mr. Daniels' adult daughter Maxine. Spokeswoman Alan Mayer said the fact is that they had no problem with the relationship. Indeed, they encouraged it while Ms. Daniels was on Mr. Kelly's payroll. When the Best of Both Worlds tour fell apart in the fall of 2004, R. Kelly came off the road and did what he always did, returning to the recording studio in the basement of his Olympia Fields mansion. And then TP3 Reloaded was released. Fast forward to his trial, y'all. The media preferred interviewing two young female regulars who called themselves R. Kelly's biggest fans. Streamwood resident Deronda Johnson, who claimed to be 18, told anyone who listened that prosecutors don't have a case. It ain't him on that tape. She said her friend, a 23-year-old criminal justice student at Harold Washington College, shouted, "I love you," when R. Kelly walked in or out of his special entrance. The star always smiled and waved. One day, a reporter asked Johnson if she'd date the singer if he asked her out. Yes, he ain't even got to finish the sentence. And if he wanted to tape her? She paused and then smiled wide. Just don't let it go public. And a lot of people be forgetting that Deronda Pace's maiden name is Deronda Johnson. And she was there outside of R. Kelly's original situation that he had going on with Rashona not showing up to court and etc. She was there, like, supporting that, y'all. Like, and so the fact that we're here now and, like, she has these indictments out against him, I mean, I'm not technically saying she's not telling the truth. And yeah, the law was on her side because she was a minor at the time. So no matter how anyone may feel about it, she's still going to get justice. And I'm actually happy that she's getting her justice, because her justice may mean that she may be the key to locking him up for good. Who knows? And I'm just saying, don't forget that she was the one in front of the courthouse saying that she would let him record her as long as he didn't show nobody. I mean, but it's always going to be a controversial subject.